Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry and I'm sick. There's David. Or no, I got it mixed up again. I did the same thing. There's Edward and there's David. As far as I know, they are healthy, so they're going to be carrying me through this whole series of videos.
I mean, we've been doing that all season.
I was literally going to make that same call, but I knew you'd beat me to it.
Yeah.
Carrying me more than usual then. All right?
And I'm trying a third attempt to rectify my sound. I'm just going with some normal earphones today. Kind of going with the Edward route actually, but
yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have got much worse than what it was last time. Well, I do apologise to anybody if you were trying to listen to my muffled voice last week.
The cool thing is now you sort of sound like you're above ground and you're not underwater.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I'm not talking in the bath yet.
I can hear your lovely voice now.
It really did remind me of like one submarine talking to another one, you know?
I was thinking on the weekend, I thought, is that what like the other analyst that has to listen to every week? Because if so, they've really got a raw deal with that one, because I couldn't even understand what I was saying and I was the person who said it. I don't. To be fair, I do talk a load of shit, so maybe it might be better to keep that. And then I can just kind of wing it.
David's like, I only want people to understand my every fifth word.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So never mind.
Let's get knee deep into our Palace reactions, gentlemen. All right, Edward, you were there. So what was the mood like for our away support?
To be honest, I mean, if you looked at it at the start of the game, a lot of us were feeling optimism. We thought we would get a win there. I mean, to be honest, I was thinking a draw is most probable, but I was happy to take a point away from home, considering the circumstances we were in, but I wanted the win. And to be honest, I would have rather have had a clean sheet than a win. Just some sign of improvement. And a lot of fans going into it were saying, we should be, and we could be getting the win today. And obviously, it wasn't the case. But the support was there, as usual. The support was there, but surprisingly, not as many away seats have been filled. It wasn't like completely sold out. So maybe some people are starting to lose hope a bit.
Wow, that's awful news.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't see any others, but there were about like 4 seats behind me that hadn't been used. So whether they hadn't got there in time, I don't know, but.
Wow.
I think it's more the culture of buying tickets to sell them on, so they get the credits at the moment. It's been a bit of a problem for the last 12 to 18 months. I think it's poor form, if I'm being totally honest. But I suppose if you want to keep your credits up, then for the bigger games, so be it. But I know there's plenty of Evertonians who are going these away games and having to buy them off other people.
Sad in a way.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, let me actually just add one more thing. It was a very family fixture, looking at it, because a lot of parents had been taking their kids to that one.
Hey.
Which was quite nice. Nice little like family day out. We didn't lose, so.
Yeah. So, we didn't lose, and Unsworth came out and said that they were delighted with a point. There's been some criticism about that in terms of we were playing the bottom of the table team, and our players and managers seem to be a little happy that we drew. What do we feel about that? How are we feeling about that?
I mean, the way I see it, I don't know. Did either of you watch the instant match reaction video?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know there was one problem straight away, and we need to. It's this defence that we've got. We need to sort it out straight away because it was obvious. But the way we conceded the goals is because of just a lack of pace and just making stupid mistakes at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can understand if he was delighted with the point. I can understand, say, if it was against a big team like City or Arsenal or Spurs or anything like that, But against the bottom of the league, we need to be killing off that game and winning and start getting these points. So, yeah, we still got a point. Yeah, we came back from behind twice to show the Everton spirit, but in all fairness, we need to be winning those kind of games.
What do you think, David?
Yeah. It's a strange one. Obviously, pre-kickoff, you wanted to win the game because they are bottom of the league. But I had to say, with about 20 minutes to go, I was happy to take the draw because it just seemed Everton were destined to lose it late on, and a point gained really on the back of that Watford win would have been a lot better. Then I think if we would have got beat there again, that would have undone the work against Watford, and we'd be back to square one. I think we're at the stage now where we're trying to turn defeats into points, whether that be wins or draws, because over the past 6 or 7 weeks, it's just been defeats after defeat. So I don't know. It's a difficult one because, bottom of the league, we should be going there to win those games. But I mean, this is us talking. I can say that I'm fairly content with the draw. I didn't like the management coming out and saying he was delighted with a point, because that shouldn't have really been the case. I think he's used the wrong terminology there. He could have talked about the character coming back twice, but I don't like to hear him saying he's delighted with the draw. I think he could have worded that a little bit differently, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, and it does seem like the morale of the squad is up, and it could be he didn't want to, grind that into the ground, So he wanted to be positive, come across as positive, to try to keep the positive mojo going, because it does seem like the players are doing okay. Sigurdsson came out and said that they're building confidence. He's feeling better. The team's feeling better, which is nice. I thought we deserved to lose that game.
Yeah, I do.
It was gifted. It was gifted.
Yeah, I think going back to what Edward said about the defence, I have to agree. I think if you look at our last 2 games now, we've scored 5 goals, 1 home game, 1 away game. That to me doesn't scream that we're not finding the net now. We are, but we're conceding goals as well. And we probably should have conceded at least 3 against Watford. We could have conceded a few against Palace, who were, I think they've scored the least in the Premier League, haven't they, this year? Yeah. So it doesn't say a lot for us. And I think the defence is killing us. I think that's gone from maybe being our second or third kind of priority to our first priority now, over the striker for me. I think we've got to stop shipping goals, and then it seems like we can find the back of the net now with Nias and a couple of other players, but we've got to fucking sort that defence out, because it's killing us right now.
Yeah, I actually told when I was talking to Terrence from that Crystal Palace podcast, I told he asked me how I thought Crystal Palace could hurt Everton, and I said, well, we have no pace in the back. There's like no pace in the back. The closest thing to pace we have is John Joe Kenny, who admittedly did not have a bad game.
No,
he stopped.
I thought he'd done well for
crosses.
what he was stuck with, because he was up against some tough opposition there, and I think we all have, but especially me, I've been quick to kind of point out if he hasn't had a great game, because ultimately you can't always look at him as a youth player. If he's starting, you need to look at him as what he is. He's a player on the pitch, but I thought he had a better game definitely, and he had some real threats to face on Saturday, and he done pretty well.
Yeah, and so I told him, I said, I'm pretty certain that your speed on the flanks and cutting inside is going to be how you hurt us the most. And Zaha and Loftus-Cheek, probably the 2 players that really burned us. Although Ward's cross to Zaha was stellar. That was a really good ball. But was it Baines who was trying to track him down and actually prevent that cross?
I think, no, well, when I saw it, I think Lookman was also at fault for that. He had a terrible... I actually thought he did okay, but looking back at some of the highlights, he should have done a lot better, especially in the second goal. Baines is going forward. You're expecting him to sort of track back and do that bit of a penal roll and just keep an eye on Ward, because it was obvious that he was going to play that ball to the wing when Baines was out of position. And Lookman going inside to try and get the ball off them, he should have been sitting back a little bit more so that Baines could then go for the ball and Lookman could sit back and stop the ball going forward. But, I mean, in the first goal especially,
Yeah, the first goal,
Straight away.
I'm sort of blaming Keane for that one, and I'm
blaming. I think Pickford and maybe Kenny should have done better. Kenny should have reacted a little bit quicker, but Pickford should have. I mean, yeah, Keane is to blame as well, and the whole defense is to blame. But
I don't know. I just think you got to close down a shooter better than that. Keane gave him so much space and was just kind of hanging out. And he's a better defender than that. I don't know what was up with that. That was the most out of character thing. Pickford actually did seem like he was trying to bat it far away. You know what I mean? Like it did seem like he bat it outside. He didn't put it down the middle the way he has done in the past. He did seem like he was trying to get it out, just not far enough. You know? Yeah, I'd like to blame Keane for the most on that one. And on the second one, I mean, it was a really good goal. It was just a solid goal, and Zaha's pace is what got him to the ball first.
Although fair play to Lennon to catch up with him as well.
I was about to ask you about our possible new opinion on Aaron Lennon, because he looked his defensive work. I don't know if anybody put in more work on defense than Aaron Lennon.
He was, I reckon. I mean, I will wholeheartedly, honestly say, before the game, I saw him in the lineup. I thought, no. I mean, he is one to bring off the bench as an impact sub because of the age he is. But fair play to him. I hold my hands up. He had a brilliant game for what he played.
The last couple of weeks when he's come back in, because when he did first kind of come back into the team, I thought, well, why is he coming here? Maybe Unsworth just trusts him, but for me, he was finished. I really like him, but I thought he was. I just wonder whether you could adapt him into a wing-back player.
I know.
I think he's got the pace to do it.
Possibly.
And he's shown the defensive attributes, and you look at the likes of Valencia and stuff, who Ashley Young as well, very similar players who've kind of become some of the best wing-backs in the Premier League. Victor Moses as well.
I think that Kolasinac from Arsenal, I think I remember seeing him as a card. He was a left mid, but then he's up. They've sort of like converted him down, and he's been a left back for Schalke, I think, in the last season, and now he's turning his sort of left wing back role as well. So he's working for both.
Well, the game changes so much now, and it's not all about being the best defender when you're in those wing back positions anymore. And it just so happens Lennon can do a job defensively, and he's still got the pace to burn, and he can be kind of still a force going forward. So whoever comes in, I think they should have a real long look at maybe having a chat with him and looking at that as a potential future position.
Yeah, it's just such a strange. But then we're left with Coleman coming back, John Joe Kenny, who actually has begun to improve, I think.
Yeah.
And then we'll be trying to, and one of the things that Unsworth had said in the past was, I want to play people in their position. And so if it's a new manager, like you're saying, I think he might explore that. We've had, I feel like me and I think early on, Edward and I might have talked about this. Somebody I've talked to has said that Lennon might do a good job on defense. I actually think he's more of an impact player on defense, just because I don't think. The only thing about offense, there's him on the attack, him breaking into the box, he draws PKs. He does, because he's so. And you know what? We're about to talk about another PK too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We got
one large PK, please, sir.
So anyway, we'll have to have more Lennon talk later. Actually,
I think
we might even have
one more thing.
Okay, I was just gonna say we might even have a specific video about Lennon coming up. So, pay attention, folks. Edward, what do you got?
But I think the Palace game was literally just a tale of two defences. That was our only problem. I mean, we were terrible at the back, but then so were Palace. I mean, for a lot of the game, but it's determined by the mistakes that they make, and there were three clear opportunities, I think, that they completely messed up with. I think the first, obviously, being the penalty, second being the second goal, and then the third was actually Niasi's chance to be able to get it could have been his second goal until the second goal actually happened, where I think Speroni just palmed it away, and then the other one, that Calvert-Lewin chance. He should have just put his foot through it, and that was terrible defending from Palace again. First and second goal for us, terrible defending. Benteke's chance, he let us off lightly with.
Yeah.
Another mistake by our defence. So that was it. It was just a tale of two defences on that game, and obviously penalty.
Yeah. So, opinions on the PK. Okay, because I have an opinion about it, but I kind of want to gauge.
Well, I'll give you what I've seen. Obviously, everyone's gonna have a different opinion. I think Edwards will be from in the ground as well, so he's probably given that initial kind of reaction to it. But for me, I think it is light bordering on not a penalty. But I just think the fallout from it over the last day or so has just been embarrassing. I mean, they go for you sometimes, and plenty of times they won't. There'll be plenty of times this season where we get a penalty conceded against us for an easy dive or easy fall to the ground, and it's went in our favour this week. It's as simple as that. I think there was some contact, and I think there's enough for the play to go down. Whether I think it was a stonewall penalty, probably not. Am I complaining? Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Fair play to him. I'm glad he went down. Honesty gets you nowhere in the game.
I think for me as well, obviously when all of us saw it happen inside, we were all like, yeah, it's a pen, which it was. I mean, if you looked at it from our view, where I was sat, it was a penalty, because the way, I think it was Scott Dan, goes into him, he can never, reach the ball from that distance. I mean, it's obvious he's going to go for Niasse to try and push him off it, so it was just Niasse taking that chance to go on the ground and call for a penalty. So in that respect, it is a penalty. It was soft. I did have to talk to the Palace fan afterwards, and he was adamant it was a soft penalty, which it was. We still got it at the end of the day, and like you say, David, it's how most games are affected these days, against us or for us. Doesn't matter.
So I think when you watch replay, you can tell there is contact. You can tell they do touch. So the fallout that you hear from people absolutely saying that he should be fined or banned retroactively. I think Clattenburg has come out and said that. And I mean, he was a professional referee. How can you not watch a video and see that there's contact? You can clearly see there is contact. And when there's contact, yeah, there's always a possibility that the player can go down. I'm not sure that I don't know that it was a PK though, it did seem to be, the contact was was it more didn't it look kind of shoulder to shoulder?
It looked a bit more, you could have said it was a shoulder barge, but
probably was. See, that's the thing. It just seemed to me like a decently fair play. And honestly, people always say just because a person loses their balance that it's a flop. When you are running that fast and someone bumps into you, from experience, there's a reason why people used to call me crazy legs when I played, all right? Because I would get a huge head of steam going, and then if I'd get bumped, I'd go flying, all right? It just happened. And Omar Niasse plays a lot like that.
So basically, just to confirm, everybody watching, Gerry considers himself as Omar Niasse. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. I mean, I've been asking people to call me Omar lately. It hasn't really been happening. But
as long as that's not in the bedroom, you've been asking for that.
You know what? I can't even joke about that one. So anyway, it is. I don't blame Omar for falling. I don't think it was an intentional thing. I think he got bumped off balance. I think there was contact. I just don't think it was a PK. That's just me.
Well, I mean, here's a scenario. 4 weeks ago or whatever it was, we were talking about the Leicester game. Aaron Lennon, it was a stonewall penalty on Aaron Lennon at Leicester. Yeah. Was the scoreline 0-0 or 1-0 at that point? I can't remember.
I feel like
it was 0-0.
It was 0-0.
Yeah, okay. we get that penalty there, we score it, we go on to hold out. The game changes completely. We end up holding out and we get something out of the game.
Uh-huh.
You know, that would have been a big result for us. Could have changed our season there, and then might have just kept momentum with us. That's just how football works. It swings and roundabouts. It was our favour. It was in our favour this week. It wasn't a few weeks ago. It might not be in a few weeks again. So let's just take our luck whilst we can grab it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think all of us agree.
Penalty. I actually think he should have been sent off as well. Why would I? I've seen people go to jail for less, actually. Just not moaning, Dan.
And if I got to be honest, though, I did actually think that the entire second half, a lot of the fouls that were called on us were just ticky-tacky crap.
Yeah,
I thought
that
they were
was
touch
just...
fouls. I thought they were way oversensitive, and it was tough to watch. They were falling down every time we touched them, and the ref would call it. And
what's probably happened was at half time he's probably being told, hasn't he, that he may have made a mistake on the penalty. And
I actually thought that. I think that's awful to think. Why not just continue doing your job? You know what I mean? The best of your ability.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's ridiculous.
See, I know Palace fan Harvey, I'll shout him out, Harvey, was saying like Everton had made the most fouls they made, like plus 20 fouls and whatever. And I said, yeah, that's fair enough. We did make a lot of fouls, but how many of those were actual fouls?
Yeah.
Or for the referee being like whistle happy instead of trigger happy, whistle happy. So
no, yeah,
that
totally.
There'll be what's counted as the fouls. So look at it in that way: were they actual fouls or were they not? Were they just the ref being whistle happy?
Yeah. So
it was painful though to watch.
Worst player on the pitch for us, quickly.
Schneiderlin or Sigurdsson?
I'm gonna say Schneiderlin.
Yeah, Schneiderlin again, and it's very ironic, isn't it? Because we spoke about this last week before the game.
Yeah.
He was talking on the pitch, and he never. So I've got a feeling he might be gone this time next year.
I agree.
What about January?
Yeah, well, I was thinking January, but I'm not sure if we're looking to offload players at the moment. But I think certainly summer, if things don't turn around, he'll be off.
Well, if you think about it, if he's gone, we've got plenty to replace him.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, fair enough.
And I think we all agree that result was not enough to keep Unzi in the manager's seat. Correct?
Yeah, I think I've said something in that match reaction, but I think I said if we lose points, so if we lose one of the games against West Ham or Southampton, like I'll take a draw against Southampton and a win against West Ham, or I'll take a win in both. But I won't take any. I don't want losses, especially if I'm going to make him 6.5 hour trip to Southampton to watch that. I'm wanting a win, and if we lose, I will probably be crying.
All right. So,
stay tuned.
Let's. No one wants to see Edward cry. So, universe, get this together.
If you do end up if you do cry, do record it. I mean, do send that over.
So on that note, on the Edward is gonna cry because of Everton note, we are finished with our Palace reaction, which is, I'd say it's a big ol' meh. So
we didn't lose, but we didn't win.
Yeah. So
we try and finish on a positive. At least we're not getting beat, are we? And we can. Hopefully we can build upon that now. It's another point on the board, and
we're not losing. Yeah. We're not losing matches where we get outplayed. That's a nice thing. Could be worse. So there's our positive. Also,
it could be Palace.
Yeah. So Edward's not crying yet. There's our biggest positive.
Yet.
All right.
Yeah, that is the big one. Yeah.
All right. Oh. All right. So that is the end of our Palace reaction. If you're digging the videos, you're just sweet, aren't you? Why don't you subscribe to us, because it just makes our numbers bigger. Yeah, that's cool. Like our videos.
And we're getting closer to 100.
Yeah. Yep, getting there. Baby steps.
Exciting.
Leave some comments, analysis. People are leaving analysis. We respond to all of it. That's cool. We want to hear from you. Check out Edward has an instant match reaction from the Palace game. You should see that. Also, David's got a new story in the Sportsman on Luton Town. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to plug Luton on here, but they did score 7 on the weekend, which was quite impressive.
It's just one of
They-
David's stories, and if you like David and you want to support him, you should read his stuff. Just saying.
Thank you, Gerry.
All right. So.
What a guy.
So anyway, that's it. We have this video took way too long. We need to move. Later.
Adios.